The restraint theory infers that dieting can more often than not result in overeating. Herman and Mack, 1975, proposed the idea of disinhibition, eating more as a result of loosening restraints in response to emotional distress, intoxication, or preloading. One supportive study by Herman and Mack gives dieters and non-dieters tubs of ice cream in a fake taste test, after making them eat either 1, 2, or 3 milkshakes which acted as a preload. It was found that non-dieters would simply eat until they were full, whereas the dieters that had either 1 or 2 milkshakes would experience disinhibition and therefore ate more ice cream than they perhaps would have if they hadn't been on a diet and ate more than any of the others. This supports the restraint theory as it demonstrates how the preload worked as a loosening the dieters' restraints and how this led to overeating and counter-regulation. The dieting had a counter effect and made them eat more rather than less. This theory can be criticised for being deterministic. It suggests that dieters have no control of free will when it comes to eating, instead implying that dieting refers to a period before the inevitable overeating caused by disinhibition. It suggests that disinhibition will always eventually happen. This is considered a criticism as many people can and have successfully dieted, which implies that some people exercise free will and resist disinhibition. Therefore, the theory cannot explain all these diets. This theory can be criticised for being reductionist, as not all people who restrain their eating overeat. For example, vegetarians impose strict controls over what they eat and are not affected by disinhibition, suggesting that they are psychological processes involved in restriction for weight loss rather than for moral reasons. Furthermore, biologists would argue that the theory ignores important neural processes. For example, the role of the retromedial hypothalamus and the leptin hormone, which could help to explain counter-regulation as an issue with our satiety. Therefore, the theory ignores many factors that could play an important role in the failure of dieting, which is problematic. However, there are some methodological issues. The restraint questionnaire was given after the feeding tests. Ideally, this should have been done before the feeding tests, but Herman and Mack felt that giving the questionnaire before the feeding tests could have created demand characteristics. However, this meant that there was 9 high restraint and only 6 low restraint participants in the second group, and the uneven pattern reduces the reliability of the findings. The correlation between restraint scores and food intake after 2 preloads is only suggestive. Correlations cannot show cause and effect, and some other variable may have produced this association. For example, high restraint may be linked to depressed mood, and it is this that leads to increased eating. There is no account for individual differences. Group sizes were small, and some people may have liked ice cream more or less than others.